President Buhari has made an appeal to the United Arab Emirates government to overturn the broad visa restrictions it has imposed on Nigerians. The president discussed his stance over the phone with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the United Arab Emirates and concurrent emir of Abu Dhabi. The president asked the UAE's his counterpart to examine the blanket ban on Nigerians receiving visas to travel to the UAE. He remembered the long history of great relations between the two countries, marked by strong economic ties and frequent discussions on issues of mutual concern, including encounters at the highest political levels. Central Bank of Nigeria has published instructions for depositing previous iterations of the redesigned Naira notes at any of its locations in the country. Joining us to discuss that, plus the matters of diplomatic issues with the UAE, is our RISE business analyst, Chika Mbonu. Chika, I almost called you a business correspondent. It's all the same. Chika, I mean, what do you want to start with? You want to look at these lists from the CBN on the requirements to deposit money back at the centers, or would you like to talk about the president's appeal to the UAE on visas?
I think money, the cash is the thing now.
The cash, yes.
You saw that thing that was going around that said that for all Nigerians now know the difference between, I send it to you. The accounting term, cash in bank and cash in hand.
In hand, right.
You know, the difference now.
Big one.
You don't need to, I'm an accounting teacher. I used to, when I'm teaching that thing, a lot of people used to like, how a cash in hand, cash in bank, how does it work? But I don't need to teach it again.
Of course.
Because it's so easy now. You know the difference between cash in hand and cash in the bank. So for Nigerians, everybody Nigerian is an accounting student now. But I mean, the topical issue, of course, is cash. Remember, CBN had up to February 10, which you moved 31st January, remember?
Yes.
Moved it to February 10th.
Yes.
For the existing currency, the old currency to be connected with legal tender, and then gave the window from continuity up to the 17th for those who had the old notes to still bring it into the CBN Centers. If within the last 3 months you are not able to send in your old notes for exchange, and I guess that's what CBN produce now. Basically, we'll try to look behind the story behind those instructions.
Yes.
He's just saying that it's not, anybody. You can't just come and bring cash,
on behalf of
anybody. Now that's third-party lodgement.
Yes.
But the point is that where has this cash been hiding since? So those who have been hoarding cash. Remember at the last press conference, CBN, I don't know the current figure now, said they got in 1.9 trillion.
Yes.
So we had a gap of about between 500 and 700 billion. So we were still looking for 700 billion, stuck in warehouses or some people's warehouses and so on and so forth. And because we believe that anybody who had the individuals, the rural people, the people are talking about, we had CBN people went everywhere to exchange money for them. Didn't have that 700 billion.
Right.
It must be concentrated, warehouses or storage somewhere that, for the big boys that had that money. And the issue is that you are allowed to bring in your money into the CBN for exchange, but it must pass through those critical conditions.
Yes.
Basically to prove to CBN that the money is bona fide. But be as it may, I still put it out there to everybody that's involved that we are in support of the new currency. We're in support of currency swap, the new currency. As I've spoken several times on this program, the master objective also is moving Nigerians more towards the alternative channels for money. Now, so after I closed work on 2 days ago, I did an experiment. I went and wore jeans and then slippers. I went to a market nearby to a woman that sells, big pepper and tomatoes and whatever. And I sat down. I said, why don't you make sales? I said, madam, don't you have bank account? She said she has. So I said, why can't you make sales? Like I buy now, and then I'll transfer money to you. And she said the problem has always been the fact that a lot of the transfers don't go through. And so people make transfers to her, or said they make transfers to her, and then the alert doesn't come to her. And then what happens is that she releases her pepper, tomatoes, and onions, and subsequently she's cheated.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I said, how much is the total stock here? She told me it's about 10,000. So I said, okay, I'm going to buy all.
The entire stock?
Yeah. But okay. And I had 10 bank apps.
Okay.
Don't ask me why, because the work I do, each bank always asks that I must open an account. Okay. That's why I have 10. So I started paying her from that to see, transferring money to her account to see whether she will get alerts.
Yeah.
And it happened that some alerts came immediately, and some didn't come.
Okay. Oh, so you did like 1,000?
Oh, yeah, I did 1,000.
Oh, okay.
I did 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
for 10.
Okay. Yeah.
To just kind of experiment because of the issue. And I'm driving at something that as we're pushing people towards these alternative channels, the central bank on the other and the banking community must work towards those delayed issues of alert for vendors.
Yeah.
The same thing with POS. Went to the POS place, one of the eateries, who tried to pay with card. They say it couldn't go through. They say we should make transfer. We transferred, and we were there for almost 30 minutes, 1 hour.
What? Wow.
The alert didn't come to the eatery.
Wow.
Meanwhile, we've been debited, giving evidence of from our own bank, has given us the receipt of the transfer.
Wow.
So this is fundamental, and that's what we don't do theories in this in our station here. I stepped out to go and do this, so to prove the point that the issue, the lack of acceptability or the universal acceptability of the alternative channels has to do with the fact that there's a deferred receipt of alert or credits by the vendors.
Okay.
And because of that, they don't trust the system. And so they're asking for cash. So as CBN is pushing towards, cashless and expanding financial inclusion and moving people towards alternative channels, everybody in the community must work towards ensuring that one, the alerts come on time, whatever it has can be done. 2, fair transactions are resolved on a timely basis.
Right.
And 3, the POS systems also work. In that way, people, the traders and whatever, because all of them, everybody has an account.
Of course, yeah. I get you.
So that's the issue. Yeah, so those who have the billions who have not brought into CBN are listed the conditions under which the portal you have to go to, receipt you have to collect, and then go to any of all the centers, all the states in Nigeria. Currently, I didn't have CBN branches.
Yes.
Anyway, so you can go in there, and then show them the money, and they'll give you credit, and credits your onward bank account.
With those funds.
Clean. And
just like that.
Yeah.
You have a quick thought on whether the UAE president will listen to President Buhari's appeal?
It's surprising because of the fact that when that thing happened, it wasn't unique to Nigeria. It wasn't Nigeria that was in lead. I think it was a lot of African countries for that. And still, there's not been any clarity as to the reason why that was done. I mean, there was this thing about on the backside that a lot of Nigerians and Africans were abusing the kindness, the immigration kindness of the UAE and that. But I've certainly seen a lot of reports written by some people who have the other passports, who have gone there, who buy gold and other commodities have gone there, and seen a lot of the shops there are crying for Nigerians to come. Because we used to be, the movers and shakers of the trading community in UAE. In some of the malls you go there, you will hear Nigerian music being played, and so whatever the issues are, instead of just banning a whole nation, I think, as our president said, let's just work together to make sure that those who give us a bad name are singled out, and then the visas are more regulated, so you don't get every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes to UAE. So UAE doesn't become a dumping ground for every kind of person.
So are you optimistic that diplomatic relations, well, maybe with the next administration, if relations will be better, hopefully? I have a minute to go.
It's okay. I mean, I think the UAE overlooked every other country and just said, we're worried about UAE as a country now. What's best for us? And that's why they did that. It's not really the fact that there are diplomatic squabbles, but it has to do with what's best for our country now. Let's be insular. Let's protect ourselves. Against all these marauders, So that's what it is.
All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.